Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is your Oliver, now with Ripple XRP news. I would like to start by mentioning that I do not provide financial or investment advice. If you are considering investing in cryptocurrencies, please inform yourselves, do your research, look into which project solves which problem, and do not just rely on me as a YouTuber. But XRP is my largest investment. And with that, let's dive right into the topics of 2021. And I would like to start with a tweet from Anders. I don't care what anyone says. Ripple is something special. Otherwise, you wouldn't see high-ranking SEC officials filing a lawsuit on their last day and then simply disappearing. Jay Clayton. Or they file an appeal 1 hour after announcing their departure from the SEC. I will get to that gentleman later. They would never do that with any project that has no future prospects. Because while we see here that the SEC is simply suing the good guys, we see others with their ICOs and these scam projects or meme coins that are worthless, which then just promote something, take in a lot of money and then disappear. Well, they just go on with their lives. Of course, that is not a solution either. And so I come to a petition that I have already signed, and the apps from Good Morning Crypto tweeted about it again. No. Petition for XRP holders. Stop the unnecessary and reckless appeal of the SEC in the Ripple case against the SEC. Click the link below to sign. And once again, a reminder. All the links in the order I show you are below in the video description. So, this is the second link. Go to that, then to the email or the link, and then you will get to change.org where you can sign. I have already done it, as I said, and I believe some of you have done the same. Then I will talk about the timeline of RLUSD, listing on the exchanges. Brad Garlinghouse said we are talking about weeks here, not months. Well, the topic would actually be over by October 8th, when he said that. But, well, not everything can happen so quickly. He reacted to that again. Emily CryptoBarby has posted, breaking Brad Garlinghouse on XRPL, Sony, Sol. Quote, the RLUSD helps the entire XRP ledger ecosystem. There, liquidity is being added to the ledger. Once again, this tedious discussion about how it could replace XRP, we will get there quite quickly. We just want to ensure that we start with full regulatory oversight. And we are not just talking about them being able to list it on the exchanges, but also that this monthly audit of all the pegged values is properly documented. There is no other way to put it. I believe we are talking about a lot of money, so let's just be a little patient. Meanwhile, Ripple itself has posted this article. Ripple and Mercado Bitcoin are working together to transform crypto-backed cross-border payments in Brazil. It's another partnership, but what is so special about this Mercado Bitcoin, that's the name, is the largest crypto trading platform in Brazil. Brazil is a BRICS partner. I reported last week about the full license in the United Arab Emirates. BRICS member. Well, Wrath of Cannabin has reacted to this and goes into it a bit more. Ripple has acquired more Cardano Bitcoin for its treasury operations. USD has come together between Brazil and Portugal. There are a few interesting points about the announcement. Some are clear, while others are speculations. This note stands out. Ripple is the only counterparty of the contact person. He proposes the form of the product suite and its possible integration. There is a whole world of product development that the XRP community probably has not yet seen for payment flows. Details of the name Ripple Payments are used. Long's original tweet is an iteration of on-demand liquidity, not just technology, but also regarding the flow of money. It not only manages settled cross-border funds. The support for international payments for companies and private customers is specifically outlined in the plans for the future. 2001 context and assumption. Aside from on-demand liquidity, or now Ripple payment, there is no direct mention of XRP, although the About section PR states that their solutions use it. So public relations. The timing is also interesting in light of the SEC news. I would have thought this is a swell announcement. 2001, but whatever. A nice headline as a counterbalance. And again, a note that the software from Ripple, which they develop and implement with their partners, always has the option for Ripple payment with or without XRP. And if they find that it is faster, cheaper, safer, and ISO compliant with XRP, then we can assume that they will be more inclined to use XRP rather than something else. After all, they would save a lot of money. And as I always say, the quickest earnings are the savings. Let's stick with Ripple and the case against the SEC. The following form has not yet been submitted. Eleanor Terrett. The SEC has not yet submitted Form C to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, which details what exactly they are contesting. You need to do this immediately so that Ripple knows how to proceed. Ripple also has 14 days from today to file a follow-up complaint if they choose to do so. This is Form C. And when I click on this here, on the first page it clearly states United States Court of Appeals. So USAND, American States Court of Appeals. For the Second Circuit, this has not been submitted yet. Again, the 70 days stand for them to submit their writing. Be careful. This note was written in 15 minutes. Now they would have to submit this Form C immediately. It had been unknown to me until now. 1000, which states what they are appealing against. So for example, point 1, 2, and for example, they have 70 days. And Ripple definitely knows what it's about. So they can prepare for their fight or for their counter-arguments. So, continuing with the text, then James K. Phelan stated that the XRP community's appeal has been filed with the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit PACER docketing system. The title of the case is Securities and Exchange Commission versus Ripple Labs, Inc. And the case number is Hit Me Dead. What is important now is that they have submitted it before it is now documented and an appeal is coming. What I find so interesting, of course, are the lawyers and the colleagues from the firms. And what is also listed is Bradley Garlinghouse, Christian A. Larson, and John E. Deaton, intervener, meaning someone who is an amicus, or there were various statements, affidavits, submitted by Ripple, which were approved by Judge Torres in her summary judgment on July 13th of last year. Now it gets interesting. Don't forget, there was this guy, this expert, from the SEC, and he was dismissed. He was of the opinion that he knew what XRP retail investors think without asking anyone. The fact is, various sworn statements have been approved, as mentioned, and they are represented by John E. Deaton. We have Jordan Deaton here. I believe even his father, represented by John Deaton. We have James Lamont, represented by Johnny Deaton. We have James Lamont here normally, Mia Lamont, Johnny Deaton, Tyler Lamont, Johnny Deaton, Mitchell McKenna, Johnny Deaton, Christina Warner, Johnny Deaton, USAND. Then we have Rosalind Layton below, whom I recently mentioned, who is very critical of the SEC and has also submitted an amicus brief for Ripple. And here are some other documents from the SEC, very interesting. Now I'm curious why they are listed. Are they listed because they were admitted as witnesses, or are they listed to somehow oppose the individuals, Objection: no, because Formula C is missing. I assume that they have been named as witnesses, or, in other words, that the SEC had to name them. But well, we will let ourselves be surprised. Let's stay with the SEC. Let's stay with lawyers. Let's move on to the Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase, Paul Grewal. If the law is as clear as the SEC always claims, why would one ask an appellate court to clarify things? But okay, let us have the Second Circuit confirm once and for all that token trades on secondary markets are not investment contracts. Let's take a look, as Coinbase has to fight the battle with the SEC. What Paul Grewal means here is this blue heaven or blue sky legislation, this ripple test, if you will, that through this case, transactions on the secondary market between retailers and exchanges are not investment contracts that would need to be registered with the SEC, according to Gary Gensler. And now they say, well, the appeals court should clarify if the rules are so clear. Why is a very valid question. Let's stay with the SEC. Let's stay with lawyers. Now let's talk about Fred Rispoli. I find that really funny. Take a look at this. If you want to know what kind of clown Goober Grewal is, look no further than the last paragraph of this article. You know the guy? That's the guy who said he was leaving 1 hour before the appeal. Grewal is stepping down from SEC job stuff. Stop. Last paragraph. Where is it? Here. Working in the private sector could provide Grewal with even more golf time at the Richwood Country Club, where he used to give away special golf balls adorned with his signature and the number 61. He thought himself the 61st Attorney General of New Jersey, but actually the 54th. Hex. Ouch. Really stupid. Then let's come to a conclusion one more time. Okay, Brad, I know some chart analyses. Well, but I have to address this because it comes for once not from eCrypto. It comes from Brad. XRP. Analysis, possible breakout or retracement. Important points to keep in mind. He discusses the demand zone, resistance zone, the RSI indicator, bullish scenario, and here are the price targets. We are aiming for a range of $13 to $27 for XRP by 2025. But this largely depends on whether important resistance levels are broken. Yes, logically, right? How does it perform at 27 if it doesn't break any resistances? I'm showing you this just because I'm such a $27 fan, despite the appeal. I don't know. Well, then I'll come back to a point that is really important. Specifically, it is the debt situation. In the USA, I received a comment based on the video from last night, or rather, it is night now and you are seeing it later. The question is, how can the Fed accumulate so much debt? It was about the over $200 billion realized losses that are now on the books of the Fed. Well, that's relatively easy to explain. My assumption is I haven't Googled it. If you want to know more, go ahead. Dive into the internet and search. But the business model of the Fed is simply to provide loans to commercial banks. 2001. This means that when you go to your bank and want a loan, you take out the loan, but you don't actually get the money from your main bank. This money is practically credited to you by the central bank. Your local bank gets the money from the central bank. They obtain their loan from the central bank. That's it. And they get their loans from the European Central Bank, 2001, and it's the same with the Fed. And since I have been talking for months about how indebted this world is and how more and more loans are naturally going bad and more banks, remember, March of last year, the 3 banks that collapsed, those are the things that happen because then the debts are just there. If loans are not repaid, the debts will remain, and we will see that it will become rampant in America. Let's now talk about the debt of Americans. because this is no longer healthy. It's really not healthy anymore. In fact, it's critically ill, comatose. I don't know how else to put it. Zero hedge. The total debt of the USA explodes on October 1st to $5.307 trillion, an increase of approximately $345 billion compared to September 27th. Still within. That is 27, 28, 29, 34 days. $357 billion in additional debt in 4 days. Of that, $270 billion in just 1 day. Very healthy. I don't know how that is supposed to work, but that's why I'm giving the warning again. It's not just the case in America. We have this issue everywhere. France is extremely dangerous. Germany, we are increasingly heading in that direction. The whole world is in debt, and I say it often enough, but I really ask you to be careful. You need to know who receives it. In my opinion, this is really not a call to buy anything, or to invest more, or to invest in general. The new financial system is becoming digital, and when everything collapses, and when I see this debt development and how money is being destroyed or given away or whatever else, I now fear that the whole world is driving this system into a wall at full speed. Full throttle. Because those up there, they are all strapped in, wearing helmets, fireproof clothing, they are doing just fine. But the rest in the car, it may be that we get burned, but they will then come around the corner in the greatest pain and will offer CBDCs in a new digital currency that will save the world. I have no idea what that will look like. I don't know how they want to sell it to us. But when people are really suffering, they want relief. It's that simple. So close your eyes and push through, friends. There will still be bumps, it will get uncomfortable, and it will be tough. But I'm here and you are here. Let's take care, and I wish you heartfelt quality time and stay healthy. It is the highest good we have. Nothing is more important. And that's it from me for now. We'll see each other at 6:30 p.m. in the live stream. If you want, come by. Thank you very much for your attention, and maybe see you later. Bye, friends.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple is the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payment options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on Ripple in 2014, the World Bank and the Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website. Ripple today, Better Than Cash Alliance, and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals. For 2030, you can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange what crypto is officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution, XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 2022. Who was the first ISO 2022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple, which has partnered with over 300 financial institutions including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, and major banks in India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, as well as the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America. Ripple, which has a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve, has a former employee managing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division. Ripple is leading Australia's CBDC effort and has hired a former Treasury official of the United States. Ripple has 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys on their board, along with 2 former advisors to Clinton and Obama, a former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, a former business director at Swift, a former Swift board member, the former CFO of PayPal, the former head of the DTCC, the former chief business officer at Uber, the former VP of Amazon, and a former SEC chair on their legal team. Ripple is a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Moja Loop, the IMF's High-Level Advisory Board on FinTech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payment Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, CryptoClothing Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, Worldwide Web Consortium, and is a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WEF website. Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.